and thank you for allowing me to make my first contribution to this House in this important debate. In my previous role, I was proud to play my part in changing the Labour Party, and so it is apt that I give my maiden speech as we discuss changing and modernising this House. May I also associate myself with comments of my honourable friends and honourable members and congratulate all those giving their maiden speeches both today and over the last few days. It is a privilege to stand here as the newly elected Member of Parliament for Cardiff West, and it is not an exaggeration to say that I stand in the shadow of some impressive individuals when it comes to my predecessors. I am the fifth individual since World War II to have the honour of representing Cardiff West, and of my four predecessors, 3 stood under the Labour banner and went on to forge formidable careers here in Westminster. 1 served as Speaker of this House. Rhodri Morgan, my predecessor but one, served in this House for nearly 14 years, before then beginning his next act as First Minister of Wales, serving in that role for over 9 years. Rhodri was a political giant and somebody very much loved by my constituents and very much missed. And as for my immediate predecessor, Kevin Brennan, as well as serving in a number of ministerial roles in the last Labour government, his single biggest impact in this House might be his membership of the parliamentary rock band MP4. So we have a Speaker, a First Minister and a lead guitarist. Hey. For me, Madam Deputy Speaker, the pressure really is on. But in all seriousness, Kevin served the constituency of Cardiff West with distinction for 23 years, and he is a quality act to follow. This quality was clearly spotted by the House at the time Kevin gave his maiden speech on the 20th of June 2001. After he finished it, Peter Bottomley, who was the last Parliament's Father of the House, commented that Kevin, quote, will be one of the stars of the Parliament. He has the sort of speaking talent that probably guarantees his joining the Whip's office and being shut up for a bit. Mr. Bottomley was prescient because following the 2005 general election, Kevin was indeed appointed an Assistant Government Whip. So I want to place on record my thanks to Kevin and to his wife Amy for their generosity, advice and support. Having listened to a number of maiden speeches over the last few days of debate, I believe it has become a tradition to refer to one's constituency as the most beautiful in all the land. And as this is a place steeped in tradition, perhaps with a sprinkling of modernisation to come, I would not want to disappoint. So I can confirm that Cardiff West is indeed the most beautiful, or as we say in Welsh, prydferth or haf. Until this election, the constituency of Cardiff West consisted entirely within the boundaries of the city of Cardiff, but following the most recent set of boundary changes, the ward of Pontyclun in Rhondda and Taff now forms part of Cardiff West. Cardiff West's gain is Pontypridd's loss, as Pontyclun is a vibrant community full of good people and a thriving high street that we must strive to maintain. On that note, I want to thank my honourable friend, the member for Pontypridd, for her work representing Pontyclun in the last Parliament. Moving east, you will find a diverse and prydferth, haf, constituency. In one corner, you will find Llandaff, a city within a city that houses the beautiful Llandaff Cathedral, one of 2 cathedrals in Cardiff. In St Fagans, you will find the St Fagans National Museum of History, one of Europe's preeminent open-air museums. In Canton, a thriving cultural scene, including Chapter Arts Centre and the Corp. Cardiff West also regularly punches above its weight when it comes to sport. It is the home to Glamorgan Cricket at Sophia Gardens, the Athletics Stadium at Cardiff International Sports Stadium, and of course Cardiff City Stadium, the home of Cardiff City Football Club and the Welsh national team. Cardiff West also houses Riverside, Pontcanna, Fairwater and Pentrabane, Penturch, Rada and Morganstown, Gwaelod y Garth, Ely and Caira, to name but a few. And whilst each area is of course defined by its own unique character, Madam Deputy Speaker, the common thread that runs through them is of a proud community, replete with families, local activists, sport clubs, volunteers and faith leaders, all committed to serving the communities they call home. That is something that became clear to me during the election campaign, and as their newly elected Member of Parliament, I will work with anyone who genuinely seeks to support Cardiff West. In the last few days, the Labour government has set out its plans to deliver on the commitments we made to the British people at the last election. Throughout that election campaign, I met countless number of constituents who demanded change, but not just for change's sake. They wanted change with a purpose, change that would improve their lives, by making work pay, by delivering a new deal for working people, by rebuilding their broken public services, by making their streets safer, by offering a more inclusive and tolerant discourse, and by making an offer of a future for our country that is more positive, more hopeful, and more honest. Of course, for us to deliver that change, we must embody that change, and we need to only look around the room to see that. In this Parliament, 263 women were elected, representing a record high of just over 40%. This is also the most diverse Parliament by race, and this Parliament includes the largest cohort of LGBT+ members of any Parliament in the world. Progress does not always move in a straight line, but if one looks around this chamber, and if one considers the tenor of Maiden speeches we have heard in these last few days of debate, then there are indeed reasons for hope. At the outset of this new Parliament, this deserves special mention, because whilst we can disagree in politics, we should always strive to do so with decency, honesty, and respect. Doing so is not a sign of weakness, but of confidence in ourselves. Being elected has been both thrilling and humbling in equal measure, and I'm sure many of my colleagues across both sides of the House have experienced not dissimilar thoughts and feelings. However, I am not blinded by the excitement of being elected to this great place to forget that it is not about me. It is about what I can and will do to repay the trust of my constituents and to fight for the causes that matter to them. Causes such as defending our arts and culture, particularly the cuts that threaten the existence of the Welsh National Opera, supporting our Welsh and Westminster governments to cut the levels of child poverty, to recruit the new teachers we need and to cut NHS waiting times, unlocking our green energy potential to deliver cheaper and greener energy, and by making work pay by delivering on that new deal for working people. Ultimately, of course, it's not just about what we each say, it's about what we do. And for so long as I am here, I will work hard for a stronger and fairer Cardiff West. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to thank those people but for whom I would not be here giving this maiden speech. The first thanks goes to my family, my mum, my dad and my sister. My family have inspired my values of public service and have made me a better person. The other thanks goes to my husband, who's up in the gallery with my sister. We celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary during the final days of the campaign, but we actually met more than 12 years ago at a time when I was still struggling to acknowledge, let alone accept, that I was gay. Through all of that, he had the love and patience to support me in accepting who I was and to be honest about that. I truly would not be here without his love, support and friendship. So as a proud Welshman and a proud gay man, I am excited to play my part in the government's programme of national renewal, and in doing so, I will endeavour to represent Cardiff West to the very best of my abilities.